Welcome to the 3G Fitness Podcast,
where 3 generations of trainers come together to discuss all things fitness related.
What is good, everybody? Welcome back to the 3Gs Podcast with your hosts, Coach Kyle,
Coach Michael,
And I'm Coach Cisco.
Yes, sir. Today's topic, we're going to talk about the famous Ozempic craze.
Woo!
Right, how do we feel about it?
Shoot me up, doctor!
Yes. So, just for those who don't know what Ozempic is a brand name for semaglutide, a medication primarily used to manage type 2 diabetes and aid in weight loss. It's an injectable drug taken once a week. Now, there are a lot of people that use this. You've heard this, from multiple people. And It does work. It can work, but we have our viewpoints on it as well.
Yes, I'll get the ball rolling on this because last year was probably one of the most new common questions that I got. I've never heard of this until recently, and I believe celebrities like Oprah were making this very popular, where they're pretty much shooting up themselves with this Ozempic pen, and it's like you said, it's a medicine for diabetics and whatnot. And what it does is suppresses their appetite, so it pretty much kind of makes you not want to eat. And to me, I've heard, and I am currently working with a client that is on it as well too. And now I'm not in favor of this trend, but I will say the only reason why I told this client I'm okay with it, we're looking just to add another 5 pounds lost to her total. So she's already lost a certain amount of weight. She's just plateaued, and we tried different things, different avenues, and she even tried a keto diet. She's tried all these different things, and she just plateaued. Obviously, was her diet and everything perfect? No, but we're like, you know what, we're doing our best that we can. So she had access to this, and I told her, I'm like, all right, no more than 5 pounds, and let's just see how it works. Dude, she lost 5 pounds in 2 weeks and whatnot. From that.
This can be bought over the counter?
No, you can't buy it over the counter. You got to qualify for it. So luckily her medical insurance, and prescription. So she was able to, but there's a lot of ways to get around it as well too. She is not diabetic or anything like that. And it's someone that I advised her, be careful with it. Don't be too dependent on it, because the main thing too, when you're not eating so much, it actually goes after your muscle. You start losing your muscle. It's not like you're losing weight. You are losing weight as well, but you are losing your muscle. If you're losing your muscle, your bone density is going down as well too. So one thing I told her is like, you can't miss a weightlifting day. I'm like, if you're gonna do this, you can't lift a weightlifting day. And in the beginning, she was feeling nauseous, weak. It's not a good feeling. I don't recommend it or anything like that. It was just something like more of a trial and error. And to a certain extent, like I've heard other people try it as well too, and they feel nauseous and they don't feel great, but then they stick to it. And these are people that I've just talked to through the grapevines, and they're doing it for more of a 20 to 30 pound weight loss. That I do not recommend. If you have a goal of losing long-term 10, 20, 30 plus pounds, I do not recommend doing Ozempic, because it's a shortcut.
Right.
And with a shortcut, you're not teaching yourself corrective habits. So it's one of those where it's like, all right, cool. Let's just say you do meet somebody that wants to lose 40 pounds and they do it through Ozempic. The minute they get off it, what do you think they're going to do? They lose those 40 pounds, and I guarantee you they'll lose it pretty quick. They'll probably lose it in 4 to 5 months.
They probably will still have the same habits.
Yeah.
As if there's,
So it doesn't teach the individual habits, And like I said, the only time I would trust if it's someone I've been working with for a long time and I trust their habits are right. And, of course, maybe they're not perfect, but it's like, all right, look, your habits are better than the average person. Try it out, but don't be dependent on it. And let's see how it reacts to the body. So you do lose weight, but I'm not a fan of it because, like I said, it's one of those where it doesn't teach you how to count your calories. It doesn't teach you how to count your macros. It doesn't teach you how to, really be on top of tracking both your food and your workouts if you're just doing that.
Hitting the gym consistently, being active.
I don't know. To me, you say they lose 40, right? And then they gain 60 back.
I agree.
Because when they lose the 40, their eating habit hasn't really changed. And then when they get off of it, their eating habit probably gets worse. Because they're already eating what they want to do while they're taking it. And so they gain 40, they lose 40, they're going to gain 60 back. It's a fad. It's something that's only going to last. It's going to last for a certain period of time. It's going to be, and then it's going to be gone.
So you said something. You said it's a fad. You've seen a lot of fads throughout your years, right?
Yep.
You had like with dieting, like I'm pretty sure you've seen like the Atkins diet. Pretty sure you've seen the lap band surgeries or anything like that. What have you personally like seen with people that have gone through fads when it comes to weight loss?
I think the liposuction one, is the worst, because that loses fat. You lose it fast. You lose 150, 200 pounds like that. But when you do, what happens? You lose the fat, but your skin is still.
Oh, well.
It's hanging.
The skin. Can gain it. I think what it is you're not tackling the real source of the problem.
Right. You're just taking, like you said, it's a shortcut.
It's a shortcut, and it's something that, like I said, a lot of people get too impatient in this game, where it's like, oh, okay, what's the quickest way? But then when they get to their destination without even, like I said, delayed gratification, as Kyle likes to always talk about, you don't. Once you get to your destination and you haven't really been through the struggle and overcome, obstacles, you don't care. You're just there. You don't care. You stop and then you go back to your old ways.
Right.
But if your journey is long and satisfying gratitude, what was it? Delayed gratification. So if you have a long journey, you're going through obstacles. Through those obstacles, you're learning as well too. Like, oh man, I fell when I did this. What helped me get back up? All right, cool, I fell. So then when you finally get to your destination, now you've picked up these habits. Now you actually care about getting there because it took you longer to get there. You're not going to lose it right away either. So I always tell people, I'm all like, all right, good, try something out, but it's not going to change your habits. The only time I recommend a shortcut to anybody is if I feel their habits are at like a good 70 to 80% positive. If you have 70 to 80% things that you're doing correct out of 100, all right, you know what, you're struggling to get those last 20 to 30% of habit skills down, try the shortcut and let's see. But like I said, it's just
if money is on the line and you have a deadline, like a short-term goal
to
hit,
goal?
then
right,
maybe that would be the avenue.
See, and that is the but
it's not. It's not. No, it's not. But I will tell you, there's someone at the gym. There's someone at the gym that I don't know if you guys have noticed. He was obesely overweight when he came in, and he's had over a period of time with commitment, he's probably lost 75 pounds.
In a span of how long?
I'd probably say maybe he's been there probably about 7-8 months.
So it took time.
And he's slowly come down. You know who
Long
I'm talking
hair?
about. Yes.
Does he do cardio at the end of his workout?
Yes, cardio, and he does weight.
Do we know the average
he does weightlifting.
rate of like weight loss when it comes to Ozempic? Like how fast does it happen, or what's the?
I heard it could happen within, maybe a week to 2 weeks, quickly.
Okay.
No, Ozempic, it can really drop people down pretty fast, because not just that, with Ozempic too, going back to what Mike said with the fads, you lose weight so quickly. Yeah, there's even the Ozempic phase, like the face, the eyes are all drooped and whatnot as well too. It's something that I don't recommend for a long big term, goal at all. I don't even recommend it for short term, but it's just one of those where it's like, all right, if a client's being persistent and they're showing me that they're doing everything that they can, it's like, all right, just try it, but don't try it anymore just to see it or anything like that. But that's just more like to get the client like, all right, what'd you learn from it? Cool. Because at the same time, maybe she lost those 5 pounds, but here's the good thing is we've been keeping those 5 pounds off. So it's like, it's hit or miss. She fluctuates 3 pounds up, 2 pounds down, 3 pounds up, 3 pounds down. So she still fluctuates now, but like her fluctuation is at a more lower point. So and she's not on it as well too. So I definitely do not, like I said, do not recommend it.
Let me piggyback on something. Okay, you said about if you have a bet,
about a competition, about a bet. Does that remind you of a certain situation?
Yes, it does. But in talking about me, in my situation, it wasn't just that. It was commitment and willpower. It was the big thing. And willpower.
If you guys haven't caught on already, this was between their bit.
Yeah,
right?
it was the
who could-
willpower. It was the willpower that got me to that point. Because if you don't, commitment's important. You have to commit when you want to lose weight, and you have to stay on course.
It is a commitment. Yeah.
But you're going to come across situations that you're going to need willpower.
Yeah, you're gonna need willpower, but it's extreme too. And that's the thing is that, remember, so in case you guys are not catching on, me and Mike did a bet on who can get abs better, and I was not really like doing the best thing or anything like that. But Mike lost like 48 pounds during this 3-month span, it seems like. And he was miserable. He got down to 193 pounds. Mike, how much do you weigh right now?
Right now, I'm 225.
So it's nothing that now, would you have been thinking that if you would have stayed at 195, would that have been sustainable? No, right? So it's not sustainable, but he did take extreme measures, and that's the same thing. It's that, like, he didn't do an Ozempic pen. He actually took fat burning pills. He fasted.
It was a supplement.
He took a supplement.
Oh, you can go,
but
another short term,
but it's another short term
over
gain.
the counter.
So like I said, it's one of those where the common denominator with all these fads is that these are all short term and whatnot. These are all shortcuts. You don't want to be doing that and depending on that. So you want to make sure that you're building habits, and just it's when it comes to weight loss, it's literally the you don't change, you don't reinvent the wheel. You got to eat good, you got to be at a caloric deficit, and you got to work out. And those, it's literally and
so before you start considering Ozempic, you should probably focus more on putting yourself in a caloric deficit with food, upping your activity, getting in the gym more and doing all that stuff. Water intake, sleep, those are super important as well.
Very important.
All the basic
Very
things.
important.
All the basic things.
Yeah, and cover those lines. Cover those lines. If you can cover all of those avenues, you'll be fine. And if you get to a point where you plateau, and there's different ways to adjust those avenues, but if you want to be like, oh, Mike here, and find a little bit of a shortcut, there's shortcuts, but at the end of the day, shortcuts are not going to be long lasting.
Right. And if you find yourself really stuck, then probably consider hiring a professional trainer.
But I won.
But he won.
So
anyways, yes, and as trainers, we are there to help you go through what you're going through, your struggles. We can help you figure out solutions to your problems,
Perfect.
Yeah.
So like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment if you guys have any questions on the Ozempic phase, or even just if you have any questions on weight loss as well too. You got 3 experts here that will definitely help you out.
Yes,
right?
sir.
So
Yes,
I'm
sir.
Coach Cisco.
I'm Coach Michael.
I'm Coach K.
See you to the next one. But I won.